English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Bonjour à tous ceux qui nous écoutent aujourd'hui en 92.1 FM. Bienvenue à l'émission Your English Weekly. Je suis Sinead Dupont-Boucher-Baron, votre professeur d'anglais. L'objectif de cette émission, c'est stimuler la langue anglaise et l'expression anglaise aussi. Chaque semaine, vous découvrez soit un nouvel article, une histoire inspirée d'un élève, un ami ou un étudiant de Your English Workshop. Aujourd'hui, c'est mon ami Laure. Cette émission est aujourd'hui sponsorisée par Your English Workshop, qui est un centre de formation pour l'apprentissage de l'anglais pour les adultes et les enfants, bien entendu certifié Calliope. Pour tous ceux qui souhaitent organiser un stage pour leurs enfants, nous avons nos portes ouvertes le 24 juin, le 24 juin à Le Ravoir de 10h à 16h. Restez à l'écoute dans les 15 prochaines minutes pour notre expression de la semaine et notre conversation et leçon en anglais avec Laure Catta, qui parlera de l'histoire de la pub et son idée d'une bonne pub en Angleterre. La leçon de cette semaine est de niveau B1+. Hi and welcome back to Your English Weekly. Today we have a friend with a new lesson. Our lesson is a B1 level plus. Should you wish to have the script for this lesson, please send me an email today at sinead@yourenglishworkshop.com. Today my guest is Laure, who will speak about the traditional pub. Hi, Laure.
Hi, Sinead. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Thanks for coming, Laure. Could you introduce yourself to our audience before we start?
Yeah, of course. I'm Laure, and I've been teaching English for like 27 years now. First in secondary schools, then in business schools, and now in language schools. About 2 years ago, I moved to Chambéry with my two kids, my daughter Claire, who's 19, and my son Robin, soon to be 18 and taking his A-levels right now. So that's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Laure, for all that. So, Laure, every week we have an expression of the week. And this expression this week is champagne taste on a beer budget. Do you have any idea what that might mean?
Oh, maybe. Okay, so champagne's expensive and beer is cheap, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say champagne taste means that you've got expensive tastes, and beer budget, that could mean you have got a small budget. So I would say to have expensive tastes and not a lot of money to spend it.
Ah, well, we'll see if you're right at the end.
We'll see.
But it's a good explanation.
Thanks.
Okay, so Laure, before we start our lesson about the pubs, could you give us some new words to our listeners? The first word will be, if you can explain the words to our listeners, explain. So the first word will be mind you. What does that mean?
It means however or but.
Okay. Listeners, another word you will hear today is ale. What does that mean, Laure?
It's another word for beer. It's English beer.
Okay. And landlord.
Okay, landlord is the owner of property, can be a house or a flat, and he rents it to other people, but here it's going to be a pub owner.
Okay. The surroundings.
What is around you, the things around you.
Okay. Weather.
Weather, that's a tricky one.
It's very tricky, isn't it?
Why did I choose it? Okay, weather can mean if. But here it's going to be that there's a range of possible things. And you're going to hear weather in England, Scotland, Wales, and it means it can be either in one of those countries.
Good work. Fantastic. Born and bred.
It means when someone was born and grew up in a particular place.
Fantastic. And a treat. What is a treat?
It's something that gives you great pleasure. For instance, it's a treat to see you. It's so good to see you.
Fantastic. Caravan. What is a caravan?
Easy peasy, the same.
Same in French.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go, guys. Fond memories. What are fond? What is fond? Excuse me.
Fond, it means good. So here, fond memories are good memories.
Fantastic. A pram. What is a pram?
Okay, pram, a bit like a pushchair where you put a baby.
Exactly. Something that we use to push a baby in. Good work. Kind. What is kind of?
Sort of.
Wonderful. Wondering.
Asking yourself.
Okay, and I love this one. What is a no-brainer?
It's a bit of slang. It means it's an easy decision to make. It's obvious. You don't have to think about it, you know.
Okay, thank you for giving all of these words to our listeners today. Laura, do you want to start to explain to us Ring-o Bells in Marple and the story of the pub?
Okay, so here's the thing. I like pubs. Always have and always will. Mind you, not just any pubs, British pubs. A bit of history. British pubs started as wine bars almost 2,000 years ago when Rome invaded Britain, bringing Roman roads, Roman towns, and Roman wine bars, because Romans drank wine. The British preferred ale, which is another word for beer. So wine bars became ale houses, which in turn became public houses, and simply pubs. So a pub is short for public house, and in the UK, the owner of a pub is called a publican or landlord, well, landlady if it's a woman, and the customers are called patrons. Maybe it's the atmosphere, the surroundings, the language, the people, etc. Whether in England, Scotland, Wales, or in Ireland. Okay, Ayr is not technically part of the UK, but still, I seem to recall great lively pubs in Cork and Dublin back in the day. Mm-hmm. I feel that pubs, traditional pubs I mean, are simply unique, and I cannot explain it. Maybe it's because my English family, Tom and Dorothy, their son John and his wife Shirley, took me to so many places and pubs, especially around Manchester. Tom was Manchester born and bred, and he used to proudly say, I'm a Mancunian. Whatever the reason, pubs are really special, like a social glue bringing people together. 9 years ago, summer of 2014, my children were 9 and 10 then, when John and Shirley picked us up at Ringway, Manchester Airport. They were super excited. John and Shirley, not the rather quiet children, waving to us like mad, hugging us. And what a treat to see you all. And you should come more often. And we are not getting any younger, you know, and whatnot. They drove us to the Lake District, where they had a caravan in a caravan park. And we would go to pubs at lunchtime. Claire and Robin have many fond memories of these pub lunches, especially Sunday lunches. You find all sorts of people in pubs on a Sunday around noon. Families having lunch, like us, with grandparents, parents, kids, a baby in a pram, next to people playing darts, friends having a chat and a beer, etc. Over the years, I spent a bunch of holidays, summer holidays, but also half-term holidays and Christmases, either in Lancashire, near Wigan, in a village called Billinge, with Tom and Dorothy, or in Offerton, near Stockport, in Cheshire, with John and Shirley. Anyways, one way or another, we would often end up in pubs for a meal, a drink, tea, coffee, beer, or whatever. One of John and Shirley's favorite pubs is the Ring of Bells, in the village of Marple, near Stockport and Manchester. It's 200 years old, and it's welcoming, it's cozy, it's traditional. It is a proper local pub. And that's what I love about it. Mike is the landlord and Barbara is the landlady / cook. They're just lovely, warm, and make you feel very welcome. Last September, kind of around the time the Queen died, I paid John and Shirley a visit. And on the Sunday, we were wondering where we might have lunch. But it was a no-brainer, really. Shirley said, oh, I know, let's go to the Ring of Bells. And I said, oh yeah, let's. And that was it. When we got there, we made ourselves comfy. We had a nice, tasty meal served by smiling staff. And afterwards, Mike and Barbara came for a chat. What's not to like? The last time I was in the Ring of Bells, around mid-May, that's about 3 weeks ago, Mike and Barbara called me a taxi to pick me up at the pub and take me to the airport, where I took my EasyJet flight to Geneva, and then before I knew it, I was back in Chambéry, and here I am with you today.
Oh la la. Thank you for all of that, Laura. And it's true that the pub, it's such a different situation than what we are used to here in France. Huh? We've got our baguette. We've got that idea of the stereotype baguette. But in Ireland, where I'm from, the pub is just somewhere where you go to see a friend, where you can finish business after the week.
Exactly.
A place where we can go and just watch the rugby if we want to watch the rugby.
World Cups. But not only World Cups. You can, you can go there for many, many things.
Yeah.
That's what I love about pubs.
Exactly. And you know that you will always find some sort of an atmosphere. And it's true that people here, we don't have here in France where we are living, especially here in Savoy, we don't have the problem of the weather. Whereas in England, in Ireland, in Scotland...
It rains a lot.
It rains a lot. So we don't have a lot of entertainment outside. So we look for entertainment elsewhere. And in the pub, we will often find a group of people we know. And that's why we always say, let's go to the local when we have got just a few minutes. So it is a very important moment for us here in... it's a very important moment for us here in our tradition to be able to do that. Then on a Saturday night, in Ireland again, here we are, we can find our traditional music.
Such an atmosphere. That's true.
Yeah. And then, now just listeners, don't go mad, but sometimes we do what we call a pub crawl. Now, what is a pub crawl?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know a pub crawl?
No, you're going to teach me something today.
Well, a pub crawl is where you go from, on a Saturday night, for example, with friends, you can organize a little night out, and instead of staying in the same pub all night, you go from one pub to the next.
Okay, you would go to different pubs.
Yeah.
To meet with different people.
Yeah. Okay. You go to different pubs to meet with different people. So it's all very fun and homely and good atmosphere. Well, listeners, I hope today now you learned many things and new words for all of this. And pub crawl you can put on your list. Well, I think that's all we have for today on this.
Champagne.
Yes, let's come back to our expression. Well done.
I want to know whether I was right.
Well, Laura, believe it or not, you were right. Someone who lives above their means and likes things that they cannot necessarily afford. So we often say she or he has champagne taste on a beer budget. Well, that's all from us today, listeners. And if you wish to listen to this podcast again, don't hesitate to find us on Radio Grand Lac, Your English Weekly, or you can go to YouTube, Your English Weekly. Also, you can find on Facebook our expression of the week. So I wish you all a wonderful week. And Laura, thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and listeners, do stay tuned today because there are many things coming. You've got Patrick with the Place aux Associations at 1 o'clock. You've got Astrid avec Toute Beauté, All Beauty at 2:15 at 14h15. At 16h30 at 4:30, 1 hour, one commune with Grésy sur Aix today. And don't forget to stay tuned at 18h. Il y a un direct du Festival of Cinéma à Aix-les-Bains. Eh ben, dis donc, all of these things that you have today. I wish you all a wonderful day and thank you again for listening to Radio Grand Lac at 92.1. I say bye to you this week from us at You.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Radio Grand Lac.
Votre radio.